Hello and welcome to Dee Dee Blooms. I'm going to give you an updated tour of the back patio and what's been going on back here. There's been a lot of blooming going on the winter into the spring here, and have more to look forward to. So I'll also insert some pictures of ones that the flowers have already gone over, but we'll take a look. So I'm going to start with our table here, and this is one of my no ID Zygopetalums. It's been in bloom for over 2 months, and the flowers are just starting to go over. The scent has faded quite a bit, and it bloomed from this new growth here. I've got another new growth here that's not doing the greatest. I'm not sure this growth is going to make it. This has been really nice to come out here. I come out from these doors here, and I've had this one right here to smell almost every time. So actually, I'm going to back up a minute here and show you guys my messy patio. So there are the doors, and I have the majority of my Zygopetalums are hanging up in the upper baskets. I have some Styluses right here, my Celia Bella in this right here. I have a no ID Nobili, Dendrobium Nobili hybrid. This is my Maxillaria Memoria Ben Berliner Yellow Cape. I have another Dendrobium Parisi up here in a basket, and then I have some house plants, string of pearls. I think those are string of bananas. I forget what it's called. A zigzag succulent plant. I have this beautiful cymbidium here. This is my only pendulous cymbidium. It's the Dorothy Stockstill forbidden or forgotten fruits. And she's been in bloom for quite a while too. She worked real hard on this flower spike, and every flower opened beautifully. And she's got a light scent, nothing really fantastic, but she's just a beautiful orchid. I almost lost her a couple times, and so I grew her inside just to baby her for a couple years, and she came back for me. Up here I have another Zygopetalum, and let's see, this is my Sideria japonica. She bloomed for me last spring into summer, so I haven't seen a flower spike yet, but hopefully. I've got a Dendrobium frederixianum right here. It's a very young plant. This one right here has bloomed off and on, and I'll insert some pictures. My Restrepia musifera. Just a beautiful little plant. I need to water her today, and it blooms from underneath the leaves. The flower is so pretty. I'll be putting up some pictures on the side. I did a care collab last year for my Dendrobium unicum, and this year I lost a couple of older canes, which I think were still capable of blooming. I rotted them somehow. And it's been going through a dry winter rest. And last year in my care collab, I had a whole bunch of flowers. This year I'm only going to have a few. You can see one of them really getting orangey, going to open soon. These leaves will let go. I haven't seen any new growth yet, so I'm hoping I'm not losing this plant, but time will tell. Continuing over here, I've got one of my very large cymbidiums. This is my very first large cymbidium that I purchased from a local garden store. Actually, my very first cymbidium I purchased was this pendulous one. So the regular type, the non-pendulous, this is my first one. So I've had this one for 3 years now. And I posted a video on my channel, and I have playlists. So if you want to see the videos I've posted on various types of orchids, you can go to my cymbidium playlist and see what happened a couple years ago is I lost 2 beautiful flower spikes, all the buds blasted. It was quite the learning experience for me. And so last year when it bloomed again after that fiasco, it gave me 1 beautiful flower spike. And this year now it's gotten even stronger and I have 2 beautiful flower spikes. Just love this one. It's a no ID and she's gorgeous with these yellowy, bronzy, orangey petals and sepals, and the lip is a deep, deep burgundy. The camera does not do it justice, so I've been enjoying her. I need to repot her when she's done blooming. She's been in this setup for over 2.5 years. Coming down here, I have my Phaeus, Lady Ramona, having a mind blank, Lady Ramona Harris, looking at you. And she is growing 2 wonderful flower spikes for me. Here's one of them under this leaf. And the other one is even more advanced right there. And I really want to propagate this one. You can do stem propagations, and that's what I want to try to do. So stay tuned for videos on how I'm going to try that. I have a couple more, or several more cymbidiums along here. This is one I almost lost. It's a newer purchase. I've only had it maybe 1.5 years. This is Ramble on Rose, number 5. It's never bloomed for me. Started rotting. But I've got this new growth that she's working on, so hopefully she will recover, and within a couple years I'll have some blooms. This is my summer blooming cymbidium. It's the Golden Elf, and I think this is a primary hybrid, which is a species crossed with a species that grows out in the wild. I've got 1 new growth here. I think what I'm going to do is repot this one. This has been in its setup for some time too. And I'm losing some of the older, I mean, they're not rotting or anything, but I might want to clean this one up and put it in a smaller pot, is what I'm thinking of soon. Here is a newer cymbidium purchase, maybe for a couple years now. I've had this one, very young, primary hybrid. This is Dryad, which is Sandaray crossed with Insigne. And it just had this 1 main growth for a really long time, and in the past 8 months it threw out this one. And I was growing this all indoors, and I decided to get it outside with its other cymbidiums because I think it's gonna really enjoy the summer heat, and I'll have to water it more often than when I had it inside, but I think it's gonna be really nice. We just got our fountain reset up. This patio needs a ton of cleaning, so please don't judge the mess. I'm gonna work on that this summer. One thing I am just absolutely loving out here on the patio is my Blatillas, or Blatillas, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but I have 6 of them, 5 of which are up here. I bought these from Andy's Orchids, and I have, what's the tags? This one, which has been in bloom for about a month now. So pretty. These are considered ground orchids. They can grow in soil. I tried doing that in a side bedding just around the corner from the patio here, and they all died. They did not make it. They did not, the little bulbs did not come back. So I'm not gonna do that anymore. That doesn't work here in Southern California, so I'm gonna keep them potted and more under control. Part of what killed them though is my dogs digging up around the areas too, so that didn't help. But this one is the Striata cerulean, and she is just so pretty. Beautiful lavender colored flowers and a frilly lip. I really don't smell anything like for scent, but she has been just beautiful, beautiful in bloom. The next one for neighbor is the Striata pyloric. So it's going to be beautiful, darker purple, if I remember, with some white coloring from the picture in Andy's. Now she's got some great growths going on, but I do not see any flower spikes yet, so not sure the story there. Maybe she just takes a little longer. I'll just come down here, whoops, to this one. This is my Striata Yokohama. I'm trying to remember. I think this one is kind of like a creamy yellow, and I can't wait. She's got flower spikes here. There's a couple right here. There's one back in here, and right there. Very excited. And then this is the Chiron, Striata Chiron. And she's got some flower spikes. Right there, right there. I think that's it, the two main flower spikes. And she's gonna be more like a hot pink, I think. Pink, I think. I made a rhyme. I'm a poet. Anyway, so I'm really looking forward to these blooming. I'm hoping this one up here, the pyloric, will start putting out spikes. And then this one, which I've had the longest because I never put it in the ground with the ones I put over there. I bought this at the same time. This one I kept in its pot. I was lucky I did that because I love the variegated leaves. And so I'm hoping this one will put out spikes for me. I haven't seen anything yet. So it bloomed a little bit last year, and I'm not sure if I even caught any images of the blooms. It was pretty quick. And this is just Striata variegated. So these, let's just take a look at Andy's cards. So daily water, moist for the water under the culture line. Temperature is cold to intermediate, light is shade bright, it's deciduous. So these guys really lose their leaves at the end of their season, and it makes you think that they're dying, but underneath the tubers or bulbs, whatever they're called, they, if they survive the winter time frame, they start growing back. Beautiful and lush. So just loving these. My sixth one is over here in a pot. This one I got from local local nursery, and it bloomed for me really pretty. It's kind of similar to, it's more of a purpley magenta color. So I think it's going to be similar to, the pyloric color, which is going to be more purpley. So I'll put up some photos right now of this when it was in bloom. It got attacked really bad by aphids. So I was constantly spraying soapy water on here. It killed some of the little flower buds that were developing. So aphids seem to love these guys. So far, though, up here, I've not had any, but I'm keeping a close eye. But this one, yeah, got super attacked, and it didn't help with the blooming, but I got some good blooms. So coming back here, try to ignore the mess. Got some more orchids. This one is a cymbidium that has been struggling for me really bad. Oh, the tag just is degrading. This is Ming Emperor, and I'll pull up some of the flowers. It bloomed beautifully for me shortly after I obtained it from Brookside Orchids. and then it just started rotting. So I did something wrong. Left it sit in too much water, but it's trying to come back. It's got a new, not so great looking growth here, and another one coming off just right there. I don't know if it's gonna make it. It doesn't look like it has much left to support any growth, but I'm supporting it. I give it a little bit of a drink. I don't know if any of the roots are any good. I'm afraid to disturb it at all. That it'll just traumatize it some more, but I really hope I can save this one. The flowers are beautiful, and I think you'll agree taking a look at the pictures. This is one, Area Copifolia. I got as a bare root from Andy's Orchids at one of his open houses, and it is not doing well at all. I don't do well with bare root plants. It's trying to grow something right there. It's hard to focus in on. I don't have much hopes for this one. Time will tell. So hopefully you'll see it recuperating in future videos. Down here I have some of my Latoria type dendrobiums. This is little Atroviolaceum crossed with Norman Biense. It's been growing nicely. I got this at Sunset Valley Orchids open house. This is Dendrobium chocolate chip, which is microchip crossed with Norman Biense. They didn't bloom for me this spring, which is their typical blooming period, but they're growing really nice. And I think I'm gonna repot soon, or for this spring. If I see any more new roots, I might do that. Oh, I got some new growths coming in. There's one right there. And I think that's the start of a new growth. Yeah, right there. So both plants have been growing well, just no blooms. Over here, I'm nursing back to health, a little tiny one. And okay, the tag is like wash off. It's Helsia sanguinenta, something like that. And it's trying to come back. I started rotting it. Didn't dry enough, but it's got a couple new growths going in a couple different directions right here. So I'm very hopeful that'll go well. A little closer of my Celia Bella, my Rhyncostylus giganteas here. This is my orange, and this is my kind of traditional. I think it'll be purpley. They haven't bloomed for me yet. Again, up here I have a whole bunch of various Zygopetalums. They bloom off and on for me, so I'll show a series of some of the Zygopetalum photos now as I'm just kind of focusing in these tubs here hanging off of the main basket. These are newer Zygopetalum hybrids I bought from Sunset Valley Orchids last year. So they are just really starting to take off and get more lush and green, but no blooms yet. So we'll come over here and a little pride and joy. This is a Zygopetalum hybrid from my local nursery. It does have a tag somewhere and I think I lost it. This has bloomed for me multiple times. It's such a gorgeous bloom and very sweet smelling Zygopetalum, and I actually have another division of it on the other side of this main basket that's going to bloom soon. It also put out some flower buds right there. And then I have another tub right here of the Sunset Valley Orchid hybrids, all growing really nice as well on this side. And this is my Zygopetalum triste, I think. I better double check. Yep, triste. Right here. Again, you can go to my playlist for Zygopetalum blooms. Most of these have bloomed for me. So I'll just jump back on to the table here. I've got a whole mess of kingianums. Dendrobium kingianums. At the end of one of Andy's open houses, they had all these little teeny tiny keikis of Dendrobium kingianums, and they were giving people who were checking out at the end of the open house little baggies full of all these keikis, and I just put them all in some moss, and they've been growing for about 1.5 years or so, almost 2 years, but no blooms. I'm a little surprised because these tend to bloom when they're little. Not a single one has bloomed for me, so I don't know. Coming around here, this is my other Phaeus orchid. It's a hybrid of some sort. I think it's gastrochylis with the Phaeus, so it's a pink phantom. Got from High Desert Orchids couple years ago now, and it just doesn't do very well indoors, so I brought it outdoors. It made it through last summer. This summer coming up will be its second summer. I had to keep it watered pretty well. I think I'm gonna try to repot into fresher medium. It's kind of, the growths are all like wobbly, so I think it needs some higher up media and some support. Love to see this flower. You can see the Phaeus kind of leaf looking structure. So next are my Aussie dendrobiums, and this one is still in bloom. She's beautiful and she smells amazing. Florally licorice smell. She's got light pink tones. Her blooms are starting to go over, but I've been really enjoying her. I'm gonna jump up here where my other Aussie dens, some of my other Aussie dens are up here. This one is also still in bloom. Most of the flowers are going over, but we still have some looking great. And they're just in these self-watering pots. They're not potted in a self-watering. Their pots are just sitting inside of there. And then this is another one that hasn't bloomed for me yet. It tends to bloom later in the season, and it's a major keiki producer.